Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to Daily Reflections with Chris. I'm Chris, and my channel, welcome to my channel, my YouTube channel. What I do or what I try to do here is share my experience, strength, and hope with you as it pertains to my recovery from alcoholism and drug addiction and just many other things, right? The stuff that I keep doing that I shouldn't be doing, I guess. We can put it like that. So, welcome everybody. Today's April the 3rd, and we read out of this book. It's called Daily Reflections. You can see it, and every day there's a different entry. So today's April the 3rd, and originally I wanted to, when I decided I wanted to start this video a long time ago, I think it was during the pandemic or during in 2020 that I felt like I would wanted to do something like this, but I just never really did, and until last year. So really grateful to be here with you tonight. And I always knew that I wanted to use this book as our topics, right? Something just kind of for me to focus on instead of being all over the place. So that's why I use this book. Okay, so we'll get started. Today's April the 3rd, and it says, Accepting Our Humanness. We finally saw that the inventory should be ours, not the other man's. So we admitted our wrongs honestly and became willing to set these matters straight. And that's from As Bill Sees It, page 222. Why is it that the alcoholic is so unwilling to accept responsibility? I used to drink because of the things that other people did to me. Once I came to AA, I was told to look at where I had been wrong. What did I have to do with all these different matters? When I simply accepted that I had a part in them, I was able to put it on paper and see it for what it was, humanness. I am not expected to be perfect. I have made errors before and I will make them again. To be honest about them always allows me to accept them and myself and those with whom I had the differences. From there, recovery is just a short distance ahead. Wow. Humanness, my God. I've been learning a lot lately about my humanness and being able to accept my humanness for what it is. It's humanness, right? Those of you who have been on this journey with me have this past few weeks ago, I got that glimpse of humanness where it's like, oh my God, like I'm human and I'm imperfect and I'm gonna mess up. And I got to a place where I could embrace my humanness. I was no longer fighting it or trying to change it or try to mold it or try to twist it or try to manipulate it. I was just like embracing my humanness. The fact that there's things that bother me, the fact that there's things that take me out of my character. There's the fact that some things build my character. The fact that, that I'm not always going to be right, and that's okay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to mess up a lot. And those mess ups that I had, coming to the realization with my humanness is like, okay, why do I keep making the same mistake? I must be flawed. Well, yeah, but you're not that bad because you're human and you keep making mistakes because you're human, right? But at some point, even through my humanness, I felt that, okay, what kind of human do I want to be, right? Do I want to continue to be this kind of human that continues to hurt other people, that continues to sabotage relationships, that continues to lie and cheat and steal? Do I still want to be that person, right? And up until I didn't want to be that person, I didn't mind being that person, right? Until that reality came and hit me hard that the stuff that I would use for survival, I didn't have to have. In other words, I was no longer in. When I first got here, I was still in survival mode, and I still lie, steal, and cheat for a while till after I got here, right? But once I started to realize that in recovery I was in a safe place, that I could relax a little bit, that I was no longer in survival mode, that I have the skills to survive. I know that if I was stuck in the wilderness or out there in the streets again, could I survive? Probably. But I don't have to anymore. Now I can kind of build who I want to be, with God's help. Turn into that man that I've always wanted to be. Turn into that human being that I've been dreaming to be, that I thought I could never be. But now they're telling me that I can. And I was like, what? I can do that? I want to teach me how. And they taught me these steps. And then the fourth step is where they actually let me. So people struggle with the fourth before they even get to the fourth, right? They see the fourth step, they're new in this program, they want to try to recover. Sorry, my dogs. They want to recover, and then they read the steps every time at the meeting, and they get to the fourth, and there's like, there's no way. There's no way. That sounds hard. That sounds painful. That sounds terrifying. And then I got to do the ninth. Oh, heck no. 1, 2, and 3. Feel good steps. 1, 2, and 3. People stay sober on 1, 2, and 3 for a long time. They might not get completely healed. They might relapse. They might realize, whatever happens to the ones who successfully stay sober 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. Say you just do 1, 2, and 3. The feel good steps. And then you get the feel good feeling. Everything. The promises. The big book tells us that the promises are going to start coming true for us even way before the 9th step, right? So you're in the 3rd step and you start realizing, man, my life is good. I turned it over to God. I'm good. Why do I have to revisit the past? Why do I have to go there? I'm fine. I don't need to, man. Let bygones be bygones and blah, 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 blah. And moving forward, I'm going to be this great person. Yes, you are. But there's more work to be done. And for me, it took me the 4th step. When I got here, I was like, I'm not the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. That's the problem. My childhood's the problem. My education is the problem. Poverty is the problem. Yes, all of those needed work. But when I come in, that was my childhood at 27 years old. When I came in at 27 years old, while I was still being affected with that, the problem was me. I didn't know how to grow up. I couldn't let go of that stuff. I didn't know how to let go of that stuff. Nobody ever taught me that. In my household, when you were young, it's like, oh, he just needs a good beating. Well, some good nalgadas, right? A good spanking. He just needs a good spanking, or he just needs a good woman, or he just needs a good job, or he just needs to go to school, or he just needs that, and he's gonna get fixed, man. He just needs to. Man, did I drink so much? Let me go talk with him. He just needed a good talking. And they would tell me worse things of what they thought that I needed. And they were right. I probably did need all those things. But the thing was, anybody could give me a good beating, right? That never worked. Having the right woman. I had many right women. And they all left because that didn't work. I needed something higher. I needed power greater than myself, right? So in step 3, I get that. I get that relationship. I get to turn it all over. Everything, right? My past, my today, and my tomorrow. I get to turn it all over, right? What about what's in here? What about what is still in here, way, way, way down deep? The 4th step gave me that. Gave me the freedom from that. Gave me the liberation from that. That I got to rant. All for the first 3 or 4 pages in my first 4th step was just a rant. I'm mad at so-and-so, mad at so-and-so, mad at so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. This is what they did, this is what they did, this is what they pissed me off. And because of them, I've been messed up my whole entire life, blah, 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 blah. And then when I was done with all those like 40 people, my first 4th step was long. It was really long because I was mad at a lot of people when I got here. A lot of people. People that didn't even know that they had said something wrong. People that didn't even know that they had did something wrong. I was mad at them. I was still holding on. I was still holding on to that, right? I was mad at people who would buy my girlfriend beers. You know, those are the kind of resentments that I was carrying when I came into, into recovery. So being able to get all that out, so that one, I could look at my part. Two, I could get to the root of the problem. And three, so that I could get healed from that. Right? The fourth step wasn't made just so that somebody else could hear your whole life story and tell you what to do with it or nothing like that. No. The fourth step was so that we could get to the deeper issues that are going on within us, so that we could heal from that. You know, those people that pissed us off, some of them are not even alive anymore. Some of them we don't see them anymore. So they're gone, but we still got the hurt. We still need the healing. So the fourth step allows us to do that, right? So we see all these patterns, we see our patterns, we see our defects coming out that will help us get into the rest of the steps, right? It says here, we finally saw that the inventory should be ours, not the other man's. So that's the fourth column. It's like in the fourth column, we see and that's where our inventory is. What was our part in it? Some of these we didn't have a part in it, right? But some of these we did. Maybe a lot of our childhood stuff, maybe we didn't have a part to do with that. But a lot of our grown-up stuff, we do have to do. I mean, we're grown. We know right from wrong. The big book tells us that. We know right from wrong. Yet we still choose to do wrong. Why do we still choose to be wrong? Because we're mad. We're angry. We want to get back at people. Me too. I'm in there too. I'm right with you. I was mad. I was angry. I wanted revenge. I wanted what I wanted. And I was willing to do whatever it took to get it. So it says right here, why is it that the alcoholic is so willing to accept responsibility? Why should I? Nobody else ever did. My family didn't. He didn't. She didn't. My brother didn't. My sister didn't. My dad didn't. Or maybe it's ego. Man, I do what I want. I've been working since I was 14. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live my life. I've been cooking for myself, washing my own clothes since I was 8 or 9 or 10. I don't know. I was really young. It could be a lot of things. It could be a lot of different things. And it wasn't until I was really just sick and tired, man. It wasn't until I was completely done of being in hopelessness, of not being able to reach my dreams, of not being able to be that person that I want. I was so done with just trying so hard and getting nowhere, like the squirrel in a cage, running in the cage and never getting in and staying in the same spot. That was me. I used to have dreams about that. I used to have dreams that I was running from the boogeyman, and they would always catch me, and I was always running, and they were always close, and they were always coming for me, and I was always running. Man, I haven't had a dream like that in sobriety. I've had other, horrible dreams, but not like those, where I was just running from people that were just after me. And it always felt like they were gonna get real close, and I would get so scared. I mean, I would wake up sweating, I would wake up yelling, I would wake up screaming, because man, I just felt like, I just, and even that, all that torment, all that disaster, all the shatteredness, the brokenness, it just got me to where I needed to be now. I was in a spot where it's like, man, I'm done, I'm tired, I don't want this no more. And I was able to ask for help, and way before I even came into recovery. And then, God intervened, He took over. He said, I need to get this boy help. And because he cried. He asked me to. And God can do anything and said fail. And God's not going to wreck his reputation on me. So when he intervened, he took me to where I needed to be. And that was in recovery, where the solution was. Right? And when I was able to accept my alcoholism, then I was able to work on the solution, which is recovery, which is the 12 steps. So when I'm able to look at my defects and accept my humanness, then I'm able to move beyond that. Then I'm able to stop beating myself up for mistakes that I've done, that I've done in the past, and that I'll do tomorrow, and that I've done today. I didn't do life perfect today. It was pretty good, but it wasn't perfect. I mean, I went to work, got there a little bit late. That wasn't perfect. Took extra long on my route today because I was tired. That wasn't perfect. I came home. I spent $10 on a meal. That wasn't perfect, but it was good. It wasn't horrible, and I'm good with that. Not horrible is like a big step up from where I came from. Because I was always like beating myself up. Man, why'd you do that, Chris? You're late again. Chingao. Man, what? You came back at 4, man. You need to be back at 1:30 or 2. No, I don't. Those were just expectations that I put on myself that nobody put on myself. Because I couldn't accept my humanness. I wanted to be a superhero. I love when people say, Chris, don't be a hero. It's like, oh yeah. I gotta be reminded. I don't need to be the hero. Do I want to be the hero? I would love to be the hero. But I don't have to be. I can let God be the hero today. I can let my boss be the hero. I can let my coworker be the hero. I can be whoever be the hero. I don't have to be the hero. I can be a spectator once in a while. It's not what I choose all the time. I mean, I don't want to be the spectator and everything, but sometimes, hey, I like being the backup singer. I talk about that a lot, about being the backup singer and let God be the lead singer. I love that. I love being the back. I remember the time that I always wanted to be the lead singer, and then one day I was singing. I was, I'm into music, right? So I was in my car and I was doing some car karaoke, if you want to call it that. But I like to put songs that I know the words to, and if I don't know the words to them, I like to put songs that are kind of like get my attention. The music gets my attention first before the words. So I'll play them and just to kind of see what they're about and get to know them. And if I like them, I'll play them more often. So I remember one time, anyway, that I was listening to some music, and I was listening to the backup singers. I listen to the backup singers a lot, and I was listening to the backup singer. And I was like, I like the way they accompany the lead singer, right? And how the lead singer without the backup singer would sound different, right? So I was like, I want to be the backup singer. So I started playing music, and even though I knew the lead singer parts, I wanted to be the backup singer. So I started singing the backup singer parts, and I was like, ooh, I like being the backup singer. And I was like, you know what, God? I want to be the backup. I want to be your backup. I don't want to be God no more. I want to be your backup singer. And man, my life really started to change after that. Like, my perception started to change, the angle at what I would see things started to change, the angle at what I brought to the table started to change, because I was no longer trying to be the one in the spotlight. I wanted to be the backup singer, because backup singers, man, they do amazing jobs, man. They really bring it out. They really bring it out. They make a show sometimes. So I was like, I'm gonna be the backup singer, and my whole entire life changed. And I don't know why I told you that, but I guess my humanness is like being a backup singer. That I could just let God do whatever He wants, and I'm just gonna back Him up and be be the little beatboxer or the, hold the tune or come in when he needs me to, or I say something completely different than what they're saying sometimes. Just maybe hold a melody. Who knows? Just whatever it takes. And more than anything, I'm really grateful that I get to look at it a little different today. This is not the first time I read this page. It feels new. It feels brand new always. I can't remember what April 3rd meant to me 20 years ago. I can't remember what it meant last year, but I know what it means to me today. And today it means to me that just being able to accept myself, to accept that I'm human, man. Come on. I'm not one thing that we were sharing on at one meeting. We're talking about, I guess, guilt. I don't know, freedom from guilt or something. Who knows? But there was a lot of topics about feeling guilty and how guilt has really, it has a hold on us, that we feel guilty about a lot of things. And then with guilt comes shame, right? It's almost, people say they're very close, right? So people started talking about shame. And then this one guy shared something that's like totally blew my mind. And I was like, whoa, this is what he said. He said, guilt says you made a mistake. Shame says you are the mistake. And when he said that, man, I just broke down. I broke down. I said, Chris, you're not a mistake, boy. You have made mistakes. Yes, but you are not a mistake. Stop it already. Stop shaming yourself. You're the only one shaming you right now. At 40 years old or 42, whatever it was, however old I was, at this age, nobody's shaming you but yourself. When you were a kid, yes, people used to shame you. Absolutely. All the time. People used to make fun of you. People would humiliate you. People would push you around. People would call you names. People would judge you for who you love. People would judge, yes, people were trying to make you be somebody that you weren't. Yes, as a kid, but you're grown now. And you're okay. And you don't have to carry that shame anymore. Let's go, man. Let's do this 4-step. Let's talk about stuff you might have done that might have caused you shame. You might have been guilty for things you did. Yeah, you had some part to do with it. Yeah, I had some part to do in a lot of this stuff that I did in all of these messed up relationships that I had. Yeah, I had a part in it. But this program gives me the opportunity to be different, to change, to be responsible enough to make it right, to be willing to accept that responsibility. I did it, but guess what? I'm going to make it right. I don't want to be that person anymore. And that is the sole purpose of the 4-step, to look at our patterns. Are we going to probably look at some shame? Yeah, we're probably going to look at some guilt. Yeah, but that's not what we don't want. We might want to look at that if you're just shaming yourself through the whole 4-step. Yeah, we're going to definitely look at that. But we want to see your patterns. What happens when Chris doesn't get what he wants? What does Chris do to get what he wants? How low will he go? Man, these are some of the things that I had to look at that I looked at them with an open mind this last time, because that's what I wanted more than anything. I wanted the freedom. I wanted what they said I could have if I worked all these 12 steps. And this last 4-step, I was like, no, I'm going to put it all. I'm going to put everything. Even when I don't think there's anybody else to put, I'm going to put one more name. Even when I feel like I didn't do nothing wrong, I am going to search inside of me to figure out what my part was, right? And I found out that some of the stuff that I did as a kid that was risky and kind of cool, it's not cool as a grown-up. As a matter of fact, you can go to jail. You can go to prison. People put labels on you. You might not ever be able to find a decent job if any of this went on your record. Like, it was time for me to grow up. And until I came into Alcoholics Anonymous and really got into some recovery, I was not able to. And I'm still growing up. I'm still not 100% grown, and I'm okay with that. I love the kid in me. Some people, not people. I don't want to blame anybody anymore. But some stuff that has happened in the last couple of months have made me feel like, man, Chris, you ain't never gonna grow up. And today, I know that's not true. I know for a fact that's not true. I know that I've grown. I know that I'm willing to set some boundaries, as hard as it may be. I know that who I've become today is not who I used to be. And if I do something that I'm not supposed to do, I may be guilty. But I'm not ashamed. I'm not the mistake. I made a mistake. I'm not the mistake. And that's what the healing is, folks. That's what the healing looks like. That's how it can look like for you. It might even look better than that for you. You might even have a better story after your 4th step. And that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping, even Bill W. was hoping that our stories would be better than his. That Bob was hoping that our stuff, our experiences will be better than his. He even gave us an opportunity that in this big book right here, yeah. So this is just the first 164 pages, but in the big book, there's like 40 stories in the back that he says, we're gonna put some stories in this book. Your story, because your story is just as good as my story. Maybe even better. Folks, accepting your humanness, accepting responsibility, being honest, even with your differences, making things right. It's okay. It's okay to do that today. If you have your guard still up, I get it. I had it up I might still have it up in some ways. I don't know. In some certain areas, right? But to be completely guarded off and walled up, man, that's gotta be hard. That's gonna be a hard life. And I encourage you, man, chisel at it, even if it's just a little bit at a time. I suggest these books? Yeah, because they'll help you, and they've helped me. Daily Reflections, big book, 12 and 12, as Bill sees it. Maybe go to church. I think the one that I did at church was called Healing Choices. That helped me a lot. But there's so much literature out there you could look into. So much, people make this term self-help into such a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. You can help yourself. Go get yourself a book, read it. Reading has helped me a lot, and I've read all kinds of books. Any books. They've encouraged me to read any kind of book. I read a lot of magazines. Sometimes I read the newspaper, the Community Impact, just to read it, just to read something. And it might help you. It might help you break down those walls of insecurities, walls of hopelessness, walls of not being good enough, walls of everybody's out to get me, walls of I've messed up too much. I'll never be right again. I'll never be accepted. I've had those walls too. Every wall I just mentioned, I've had them all. This program has shown me and taught me that anything can be fixed. Are there some steps we have to take? Yup. Do we have to believe in a higher power? Probably. Do we have to trust in that higher power? Probably. Absolutely. That higher power. Do you have to trust in it? Absolutely. But nothing here is forced. It's in your time. I hope and I pray that you would choose that now is your time. That now is your time. Let's go. Let's get this. Let's do it. Let's be better. Even if it's just a little bit. Tomorrow. Let's be better a minute from now. Let's be better tonight. Right? Let's change it up tonight. Put on some different kind of music. Listen to different kind of stories. If you think you're lost, you're not. Or you may be lost, but there's still hope for you. There's hope for you. There's hope for you. If you want to be found, you can be. If you want to be found, you can be. Folks, I want to thank you for your time. If anybody were to ask me, Chris, how can I be found? Ask. You can ask God. You can ask higher power. You can ask whatever it is you believe in, the Virgin Mary, somebody in heaven. It could be so simple. I say, God, if you're real, I want to know. Show me who you are. That's all Bill did. That's all Bill W. did. Mine was a little different. My cry to God was, God, I know there has to be something better than this for me. And I had my white light spiritual experience, just like Bill did. And one of my favorite pastors, Freddie Garcia, maybe if you have know who he is, he opened the church I'll Cry in the Barrio. Freddie and Ninfa Garcia. Freddie walking down to the altar, halfway there said, Dios, dame una quebrada. He said, God, give me a break. And he had his white light experience. Your relationship with your higher power is personal. These 3 examples are just examples, and they're all different in their own way by 3 different types of people with one need, and that was the need to get out of the hopelessness, to break those chains and drop them walls. If you want it, you can have it. And if you're lost, you can be found. But it's all up to you. All up to you. This is personal. It's personal, folks. Go get it for yourself if that's what you want. Go get it. It's for everybody. If I can get it, man, who hasn't done anything with their life, who loves differently than what society says it should be, that is making mistakes left and right and disrespect, who has disrespected so many people. If he can look at me with that and give me that salvation, he can give it to anybody. And if you ever get the opportunity to read Bill's story, to read Freddie Garcia's story, my God, that is a good book. You know, I'm talking about reading books. Read that book, I'll Cry in the Barrio. It's like, it's thinner than this, and it's about a little bit longer than this. You could probably read it like in a day or less. I think I read it like in 2 days. But if you're a reader, you can probably read it in 1 day. And it's good. And it's powerful. It's called I'll Cry in the Barrio by Freddie and Ninfa Garcia. Folks, thank you for your time. I don't take it lightly. It's been good. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Okay? Bye.